issue between different sides of politics. One side says the way out of our problem is investment in research and development and high-skilled workforce. Another says the way out of our problem is to invest in knowledge, or our side says invest in knowledge, training and skills. And then there's a laissez-faire approach which says, well, it's up to the industry and, just have to see how it works. This is an important debate and it's critical for farmers in my view. Whatever the choice the government makes, it is now up to the agricultural industry, whatever the outcome there, to lead investment, because if they don't, then we'll see what happens in the apple industry and the meat industry eventually. If you want to know where this ends, have a look at the wool industry. It's very instructive to me when I came in to be Minister of Agriculture. I asked MAF to give me the history of the wool industry. Back in 1951, the wool industry in New Zealand earned 50% of our entire overseas earnings. 50%. The latest figure was 2. So if you want to know where you go, if you stop research and development and all the rest of it, that's where you go, right down the Googler. And so there's some responsibility to be accepted here. Investment in science and research and development is the most significant commitment you and we can make across all of our agriculture to determine our own future. Investment in marketing and in market responsive structures. Investment in talent and creativity and in strong communities that attract people to rural lifestyle. I was working to see that we had the highest level of scholarships available for agriculture. And the reason for that was that if you want to put out into the young community where your values are and what you really value, then you've got to show that you put your money where your mouth is. So if you have very high scholarships for agriculture and science, that'll tell people that you're really serious about it. If you don't, they won't be interested. Our research and development, our talent and the structures underpinning them give our agriculture a competitive advantage over competing countries with temperate climates. We didn't get good at agriculture by accident. We got good at agriculture because we invested in it. And some of that investment is now coming to term and we need to renew it. And if we don't, we will suffer because we'll be living off the capital of the past and we won't have a future at all. And I think very clearly our competitive advantage is in our science and research. It's our people, in our lifestyle. Our competitive advantage in the future will be in our superior products, in costs driven down by innovation. If we want to reduce costs, we've got to be innovative. And to be innovative, you've got to have clever science and research backing it. In processes focused on delivering a better product to consumers, in environmental sustainability driven by science, not by wish lists. And the agricultural sector is going to have to lead investment to keep us in the forefront of all of these areas, because innovation is not going to come from anywhere else. It's got to come from inside the industry and the country. And it's not going to happen on its own. And it isn't happening fast enough in other parts of the economy. When you look through our economy to where the wealth has been created, there are some pretty compelling facts to confront. One is that our corporate sector has spent most of the last 20 years overall destroying shareholder wealth. I had to laugh the other day when the chief executive of the stock exchange was invited to Treasury to lecture state-owned enterprises about behaving more like the corporate sector. Mm-hmm. God help us if we had the agricultural sector behaving like the corporate sector over the last 20 years, we'd be in ruins right now. When you compare stock market results to the performance of farms and agri-businesses, you get a clear picture of where the strength of our economy resides. Value and productivity has increased in the agricultural sector and has decreased just about everywhere else. And the increase in productivity in the primary industry sector is about 150% that of every other part of the economy. And we're getting lectured. Tell us how we can be like them. Oh, great. If they were to behave like, if you were to behave like our corporate sector, you would be destroying value, not enhancing it. They would grow productivity more slowly than comparable overseas businesses. That's exactly what's happened to New Zealand. We lost 30% per capita income vis-a-vis Australia in 30 years. And it came mainly out of the corporate sector, while the agricultural sector was actually increasing its productivity. They would not focus on doing a better job, but on sending more of New Zealand's cash to overseas owners. The stock market agenda is to lobby for more privatisation of our SOEs. rather than focusing on growing more successful New Zealand corporates that deliver returns to shareholders by doing well in global markets. That investment graph, which shows that we lose heaps of money against investments we make overseas versus the investments here, tell you that our investments have been abysmal, and the investments that they've made in our country have printed money for them, basically. So I would have more New Zealand corporates behave like our most successful agricultural businesses, actually. That would be a reverse of the message from the stock market. Then they would grow productivity faster than the average of the New Zealand economy, which is exactly what agriculture's done. They would focus on expanding their international connections. This is what the agricultural sector has done. They would grow the scale and expertise they need to be world-class businesses, which is what the agricultural sector has done. They would build on genuine science-led innovation and send the returns back to creative or entrepreneurial business people in the many communities around New Zealand that are at the heart of the agricultural industry, which is what the agricultural industry has done. That's why the regions of New Zealand in the last 9 years recovered so well, because they had agriculture at the heart of those sectors. So in conclusion, as I started out saying, there's a lot to be confident about in agriculture today. Of course there is. It's the greatest agricultural community in the world, no question about that. But I'm realist about it, and realistically we need to deal with the massive debt problem and the too high interest rates we are paying to Australian banks. No excuses for present company. 11.7 billion in a year in profits and interest payments. That's where earnings from agriculture are going. Realistically, we need to invest in research and development and creativity to come out of tough global conditions stronger and hitting the ground running. We need to come out of this recession well geared up in terms of research and new technology and new product. If we're not, there'll be other countries that will. And they'll hit the ground running and we'll be trying to recover from recession. And it'll be too late and too long. We need to turn environmental challenges into opportunities. And realistically, the question is, can we do this? And the answer is, Barack Obama would say, yes, we can. But it'll take a fierce commitment of energy and cooperation across the sector. You don't get out of the holes that we are in lightly and easily. There's no question about that. There's a huge challenge here, and we're going to have to be very good to meet it. I saw a comment from Don Nicholson that New Zealand's best exporters are found out there in the fields and paddocks of New Zealand under the rain, sun and snow, working every single day to bring wealth to New Zealand. I agree with that. And it's up to the rest of us to match that commitment and to add our efforts to their success. Thank
you. I'll take 3 questions. Jim has indicated that he will be staying around at lunchtime, so questions, anyone?
Yes, Jim. Thanks for your summary comments, particularly on the debt levels. I've been trying to raise that in this organisation for the last 12 years, and we're told that we couldn't do anything about it, and really it didn't matter anyway. You've highlighted the huge problem we have. I'm not sure you agree what we can do about it. We've had several reviews, and it's all been put in the too hard basket, but eventually we're going to have to face the facts and do something about it. We've got to be an important part of that. The other issue I would take some slight issue with your comments about, I think you inferred carbon was a pollutant. Carbon is, along with sun and water, is the basis of all life on this earth, and we need to take a bit more note of the latest science that was around.
Well, I'm not going to get an argument with you on carbon and climate change. All I can say is the most eminent scientists in the world, in my view, have brought in their verdict, and we have to do something about it. If there are any deniers out there, you're going to be in a very small minority as time goes on, in my view.
Jim, I noted your comment when you said when the present government came into power and they addressed their State of the Nation at the beginning of the year and didn't mention the word agriculture in there.